part 3 on 2-note comping with 2+2 splits. Today we're going to start piecing together what we know into 2-5-1s and minor 2-5-1s, and we're going to use the first 8 bars of Autumn Leaves to illustrate that. In part 1 we learned minor 7 chords, and in part 2 we learned major 7 chords. So since you're familiar with the concept now, I'm quickly going to demonstrate the dominant 7 chord shapes and the minor 7 flat 5 chord shapes. So let's start with the dominant 7 chord shapes. I'm going to start with this shape here, root on the 5th string. It's this drop 2 chord, and we split it up like this. Right, and the next drop 2 chord is this one, root on the 6th string, and we split it up like this. So we have this, and we have this. And the inversion in between here is this one, and this is root on the top, and we play this shape like this. Okay, so if we connect them, we have. Okay, and for the last one, the 5th is on top, and I play it like this. So all of them going back as this. Okay. That's the dominant 7 chord shapes, right? So moving on to the minor 7 flat 5 chord shapes. Root on the 5th string. This shape stays the same, but we have a flat 5th and a minor 3rd. So this is the shape here, right? So this is the chord. This is the 2+2. Right. And for this one, with the root on the 6th string, this is the drop 2 chord. 2+2 split is. Right, so we have this, and we have this. So the one in between is root on the top, and it's this drop 2 chord. And it's this 2+2. Right, for the last one we have the flatted 5th on top, and so that looks like this. So if we put it together, we have this. Now we know the 4 chord qualities. We can play 2+2 for major 7, for minor 7, for dominant 7, for minor 7 flat 5. I'm going to go through 4 different exercises, and I'm going to use the first 8 bars of Autumn Leaves to illustrate it. And why Autumn Leaves? Well, it's just really handy that it starts off with a 2-5-1 and then immediately goes to a minor 2-5-1, so we can practice everything we know at this point, right? So if we play Autumn Leaves in G minor, the first chord is the 2 of B flat major, so it's a C minor 7. And I want you to start with this shape, root on the 6th string. And this is exercise 1A. And if I play it like this, that sounds fine. And one thing I want you to notice that if you know your shell chords, you can play it like this with shell chords. So it's really similar to stuff that you probably already know when you start these 2+2 shapes on the root of the 6th string. The benefit is, if you compare it to playing with shells like this, that you actually, there is no 5th in the shell, so you do actually get the 5th in the chord occasionally, and it's also a bit more ambiguous, which I like, because you just play 2 notes at the same time, and it's easier to split it up into separate lines. So instead of having this, the 2+2 gives you this. So one thing happens here that tend to happen when we play tunes with a lot of cycle of fourths in it, like 2-5-1s in standards, is that we get this constant movement down the scale, darker and darker, like this, and we climb down the fretboard, which is totally fine and acceptable and tend to happen a lot. But one thing to counter that, I like to practice moving the other direction. So we're going to do exercise 1 again, but this time it's exercise 1B, and we're actually going to voice lead up the scale. So just grabbing the next chord at a possible place in the other direction. So for this C minor 7 here, we're not going to play this, even though that's great voice leading. We're not going to do that now. We're going to do the nearest F up here, which is this one, right? And we're going to do that for all the chords. We're going to find the next B flat, and then we're going to find... So it's good. Well, okay, so we're going to move in that direction. So we're going to get a slightly different sound now. So instead of this, we get this. Which is a quite refreshing sound, and it sounds a bit more unusual. And the thing is, when you can control both directions, you get so much more freedom when you're improvising these kind of things. Exercise 2A, we're going to start on root on the 5th string and move downwards with our voice leading. But if we start here, there's not enough space on the guitar, so we're going to start up here on the 15th fret. So moving down would be similar to using these shell chords. Right, but with 2 + 2 we have this. Okay. So exercise 2B is going to be the same, but starting here and going up the scale. Okay, it's going to be something like this. C minor 7. So whenever we start the 2 + 2 shape on root on the 5th string or root on the 6th string, it's almost the same as playing these shell chords, right? So a lot of us practice those and we know those quite well, so that's an easy connection to make. But now for exercise 3A, we're actually going to start on this shape, root on the top string, on the G string for C minor 7, which is a bit more unusual to play C minor 7 like that. Most of the time you get this, that, but we do this with 2 + 2. If we're moving down, we get this. Exercise 3A. Okay. And now exercise 3B, moving up the scale, but this is a starting point. Right, and now the last one, exercise 4A. We're starting on the 5th on top. The 5th on top. But we're moving down the scale. So this is C minor 7. Okay. And now up the scale. For this one, it's going to be a bit tight up there, but let's try. So C minor 7. I mean, at some point, there's always choices you can make. Like you can stay on the same note, or you can move even further up. So it's not going to be exactly the same each time, but that's part of the fun. So this is a really good thing, practicing practicing a chord progression just always moving down, or practicing the chord progression always moving up. See you in the next one.